Evening, everybody. Thank you all very, very much for coming back to the Pigsty tonight. Tonight, we are going to delve inside the mind of Asshole 104. We have the expert here. So, DARTH DAWKINS Debunked, if you would like to introduce yourself and just let everyone know where you are. All your links are in the description, but just give us a wee heads up about what you do, man.
Okay, well, thank you for having me here. Well, basically what I do is I have a YouTube channel and a quiz and a website, which is I call it an expose on Darth Dawkins, or mauling atheism, or whatever name he goes by.
Yeah.
That's an expose on his worldview. So that's basically, I did it all in my spare time, but I started it quite a while ago, over a year ago, so I had to do it piece by piece. And now that we have the virus, so I'm in my house, so lately I've had more time to be able to spend on it, so because I work from home, but still I have more time available. So, but that's basically what that is just an expose on his worldview.
And was it the channel that came first, or was it the quiz that came first?
It was the channel that came first.
The channel came first, and then you developed that into the quiz. Now, I know personally from a lot of us now, whenever we leave Christianity, I assume that you were raised Christian, yes?
Well, I was raised Catholic, and then later I became a quote-unquote Christian, yes.
Yeah, and then I find with us internet people, when we're going out and we're searching around, we all come across Asshole 104. And
now, I'm sorry, because I didn't want to cast any just negative dispersions on being Catholic. I wasn't trying to do that. I was just saying, my family, my mom and my dad, first they had me going to a Catholic school. And that was for the first 3 or 4 years, and then after that, I transferred over to the public school, and that was the end of me going to church, pretty much, until later in my late teens. That's when I started going back into church, and then in my 20s is when I really did a study of the Bible, and that's what turned me to get out of the church. That's where I had another change. So, but that's basically it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. I'm from Ireland, man. So Catholics are actually Christians. I'm not American, and some of them people, I know the narrative that they push, people like this man and Jill and things like that. There's Catholics aren't real Christians. But I've been finding that I've been meeting more and more ex-Catholics. My girlfriend herself is an ex-Catholic as well, and there's an awful lot more out there than what people would give credit for, especially from an American point of view.
Yeah. Well, Darth, especially, I know from studying his view, he definitely does not think that Catholics are Christians. So I learned that while I was, making notes of his worldview.
Yeah, it's funny that though as well, if you look at the statistics and you take the Catholics out of the Christians, then the Christians aren't the dominant religion in the world anymore, yet they still state that they are. They're happy enough to count the Catholics when they need the numbers, like.
Yeah.
What I was saying, man, whenever we come to the internet, and I know personally myself, and I know a few other people, it's like a guilty pleasure at the start. You listen to an awful lot of them. You try and convince yourselves that, it's not that hard to do. You listen to the same 7 or 8 things over and over again. You get his script knocked down. And everybody wants to have a go against Darth, and then it gets a wee bit, fuck me, he's still saying this same shit over and over and over again. Was there something that maybe not to use the word triggered, but is there something that he does in particular that made you focus on him more so than Say or other precepts or any other Christian out there in particular?
Well, actually, I started when I learned about presuppositional, the presuppositional position. I actually at that time didn't know anything about Darth. Mm-hmm. I first heard about Matt Slick, so I studied. I studied a little bit about him. And then after that, I learned about Psi-10. And then as I was learning about Psi-10, that's when I came across Darth. So but what really caught my interest in Darth is I think he is capable of saying just about anything. Where I think Matt and Psi, I think they're much more consistent in what they say. But Darth, as far as I'm concerned, he is a zillion miles to the left and a zillion miles to the right. He's capable of saying anything.
Yeah, I think it all boils down to the fact that it's for attention more than anything else. It's all about the attention. The man has is it a god complex or whatever it is? He just loves the attention and will say whatever is necessary to gain that attention. He will go anywhere and say anything for that attention. He has his basic script, but when it boils down to it and he doesn't get the answers that he wants for people to stay on script, then as you say, he's capable of anything. The whole game is to get people back on the script. So he will say absolutely anything to get back on the script. Where I find with people like Matt Slick and Sai, more that they would believe in what they can, and you can press them on certain points. They don't have a script. They have the answers there, but you can throw certain questions at them and you get certain answers back. Where with Asshole 104, if you're not given the answer he wants, he just pounds you to try and get back on script again.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm looking at a quote right in front of me right now. This is something he said. It was in a YouTube video, which was called How to Destroy Atheists, Part 2. But he said, quote, "Our goal is not so much persuasion, okay? Our goal is to show them that their position is completely untenable," unquote. So I think Darth is much more, in contrast to Psi and to Matt, Darth is looking at it, I think, as he's only concerned about winning the game, so to speak. To him, it's like a strategy game. It's a tactical game, and he wants to win this particular game, and he's willing to do anything to win this particular game. So that's the way I see him.
And will go against anybody. And I don't mean that he'll go against anybody that he's always open to debate, because that's not fucking true. But if he has the opportunity to shout at a 12-year-old, he'll shout at a 12-year-old. If he has the opportunity to shout at a 50-year-old, he'll shout at a 50-year-old. He is as ignorant to every... Oh, yeah. Some of the videos that I've seen where he's shouting at children, and they're literally 12, but he knows that it's being recorded, and he knows that it will be uploaded to possibly Tom Rabbits or something like that. He knows that it's being recorded, and it's for attention. He's playing up to the crowd. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of ego there, I believe. Excuse me. Definitely, he likes the attention. Even if it's negative attention, he likes that. Yeah. So yeah, he likes any type of attention. He basks, I also find him as one of the most disrespectful people that you can ever meet. You watch him on a couple of episodes of Modern Day Debate, and he just treats James like a piece of dirt on his boot, with no respect for him whatsoever. He did try that here. It did not work. He got one. That was it. Everybody gets one, but he has no respect for anyone else. He is I'm here and I'm who I am, so you should give me the gratitude and be grateful that I'm here. I'm here at you should be thankful that I'm here.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do remember that he was in one of the debates. He was in the Modern Day Debate, and he had a disagreement with James as far as how James was moderating. But let me back up a little before that. He had said in his chat room, he described his chat room as a benevolent dictatorship. That's what he calls it. He says, in fact, he said that his standard, he admitted that he does have a double standard. He admitted that he does not apply the same standard to himself as he does to any of the people that come into his chat room, because he is this benevolent dictator of this chat room. So his standard is completely above and beyond anyone else's standard. Now, let me go back to what I was saying. He went into the chat room with James, and he was complaining to James about how James was monitoring, and he said something to the effect, well, James, you know what? I think you're a hypocrite because you have a standard. You know, he said something negative about James' standard, but he called him a hypocrite because James was not moderating the room the way that you wanted to moderate the room. So so he's in his own chat room, and he's fine and dandy. Everything is fine and dandy as far as how he wants to moderate the chat room. Anything goes. But when he goes in someone else's chat room, then he says, well, they are a hypocrite because they're not moderating the chat room the way that he wants them to.
Oh, I 100% completely agree with you, Matt, on that. He was on here originally. We had him up against Richard Madsen, and then Randolph wanted to go, so I reached out and he came back, and would never come back again because I over-moderated. I ruined the general flow of the conversation. But if you watch the last 30-40 minutes, I think the audience's questions is the best part of it, because it's short and sweet, and Darth Asshole 104 does not like the short and sweet. He likes to go on a rant, say 50 things, then you have to try and answer so many. He focuses you back onto the script. It's his thing. It's what he does. And we got to the questions. I'd ask Randolph, or ask, say, Asshole. Then we'd ask Randolph, and then he would come back again with a retort to what Randolph had said, and it's like, no, we're done with that part. Muted. And he did not like that. Refused to come back. That was it. That was no more after that. As you say, he has to be in control all the time. If he's not in control of the button, he must be in charge of ordering around the person who is in charge of the button. Yeah,
and my first experience with him, contrary to what he says, because he claimed that I had previously spoken with him, which, number one, is a bold-faced lie. But the first time that I had spoke with him was on Smokey Saint's channel, YouTube channel. And here's the thing, is that Smokey Saint invited me as a guest. I was the main guest on that channel. So I was in there with Smokey Saint, and Darth, a few minutes after I was there, Darth came in, and to show you what kind of a social, I want to say, I don't know what the word is, but he's just socially, he is just a misfit, and I'm being polite. But when Darth started asking me questions, the first thing that he asked me was, what is my worldview? He wanted to know, was I an atheist or was I an agnostic or whatever? Yeah. And when I didn't answer his question the way he wanted, about 2 or 3 times, I told him that I was not going to answer his question until we first settled the other issues. And then you know what he turned around? He turned around and he said, well, Smokey, this guy, he's running up my time. As if I'm running up his time. Here I am. I'm in the chat room as a guest, and he comes into the chat room, and because I'm not answering his questions the way he wants, he says I am running up his time. That takes a pair. This guy is purely asshole 104. I agree.
Yeah. It's just to make a wee reference to the girlfriend out there. We watched Hamilton the other day, and he comes across as like the king in the play, very up himself, and look at me, and I am absolutely fantastic. Why are you not bowing down before me? God complex sort of problem that he has. Well, I think that it does come from the fact that, and I'm not going to pick on anyone else here, but there's people who hate Discord, but Discord's quite good. But in his particular Discord, he does have his following. And if you surround yourself with people telling you that you're fantastic, you're amazing, and look at all the wonderful stuff that you can do, especially in the context of a dictatorship, a God complex, someone who has that, you don't just have to say to them, oh, you're doing wonderful, you know, you're doing a great job. You can say, you fucking destroyed that person, he was an asshole, and things like that. And it reinforces this complex that he has.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's a psychological high, you know, whenever he can, you know, he runs the show the way that he treats other people, you know, the way that he treats other people is just completely despicable. And then his clones and his clowns give him credit. You know, they say, oh man, you really destroyed that guy. And all of it just goes to his head. You know, to me, I equate his chat room with a cult. To me, that's what it's like. It's like they've got a little cult that they're running, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, so, but he's all 100% ego. I mean, it's just, but the way that he treats people, and that right there is one of the things which I think originally caught my attention, is that how rude he is to other people, even though there is a scripture in the Bible that basically says, treat others the way you want yourself to be treated. But I think he missed that verse, because I rarely see that. Very rarely do I ever see that. I mean, more often than not, I see somebody who comes into the chat room, they are trying to act in good faith. They're answering the questions honestly. And what you usually see more often than not, you see a few minutes later, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And then that's all you see.
Do you find, it might be something, I know that I'm referring to you as the expert here, but it might be something that you've looked into, but do you know the average age of the people from being in the Discord chats? I would consider an awful lot of them quite young.
Yeah, I don't know the exact average age, but by the sound of their voice, I think they are probably in their early 20s, I think, on average.
Yeah, well, you know, still, yeah, well, I'm 37, so that's half my age. So when I say child, I don't mean 10 and 11. Yeah, I'm still talking 18, 19.
Yeah, right.
They're still little babies. But as you say, man, not that we have any definitive evidence, but going by the names, the icons, and the voice that does be in the chats, I would assume that an awful lot of them would be of a younger age. You know, they're and American audiences, and yeah, you can be 20 and very fundamental in America, and having this, I don't want to say anything nice about him, but having this person that, you know, you can put up front, so to speak, as a loud leader for them, it's definitely something that they would want to put up on a pedestal, that they want to say, look at a wonderful job he's doing. Yeah,
well, I mean, one thing that I did want to say and point out, I think if somebody were to ask me to define him, I would, in one word, or actually 3 words, I guess, I would say bold-faced liar.
That addresses to just something that's in the chat as well. Religion is bullshit. If you've ever had any interactions with Rib, he wanted to know, do you think if Asshole 104 is an actual Christian or just the world's greatest troll?
Well, I mean, let me describe it this way.
Go for it.
According to, I say, the fundamental or the traditional mainstream view of Christianity, you know, if you go by that, the mainstream Orthodox view, Darth is just about as unorthodox as they come. So let me put it that way. He's unorthodox. So if he is a Christian, that's why I say I equate his chat room to a cult. I see it just like a cult, you know. So if he is a Christian, he's one. I think he is the worst specimen of Christianity. He's the very worst. He's the bottom of the barrel in regards to how he treats people. Yeah, you know, that would be how I would answer that.
You see, that's the problem with you know, as much as we'll sit here and say he's awful, he's bad, he treats people like this, that, and the other. You know, it's the same with certain people in the community here I know still watch Flat Earthers because it's entertainment. That's why I find that an awful lot of people watch him at the start is, from our side, from the atheist point of view, is that we watch him for the entertainment value of it. It is fun, and people as a mass do like to watch shit burn.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like watching wrestling or boxing. If you've got somebody who is dominant, especially not a close match, but somebody who is dominant over the other, so you pretty much know more often than not that you're going to see somebody that's going to be dominated, but you don't see very often somebody like Matt. I'm trying to think. Matt, what's his name? The one that's on Atheist Experience.
Matt Dillahunty.
Yeah, you don't see anyone, very, very rarely will you see anyone of that caliber. I mean, Darth says he will debate him, but I think he would not, if it actually came down to it, he would do everything he could to avoid that type of a confrontation. Now, he claims that he has spoke with PhDs in philosophy, and, well, I mean, most PhDs in philosophy, I'd say, are going in there and they are being honest. And they're acting in good faith.
Well, that was one thing I did want to mention. If Bill is still in the live chat, he can back me up on this, and I'm sure maybe you've heard of the person yourself, D. But Floyd FP, I'm pretty sure he has. I've heard of him. Yeah, he has a PhD in philosophy, and I would say he destroyed Asshole 104, but he did it too politely.
I agree. I would too.
Yeah. And it really did put Asshole in his place. He didn't scream and shout in that. He didn't mouth at the person. Whenever Floyd would come back with an answer, he would try to get back on script as best as he could without being a dick. He wouldn't treat the person like shit where he would anywhere else. He did have some sort of respect for him. Maybe that's a bad word. Probably the fact that if he fucked him off, Floyd would have just left and he wanted to talk to him for the attention. But I thought Floyd destroyed him, and very politely as well. Yeah.
I mean, so when you have someone of that caliber, Darth has to be more respectful. If he's using his brains, he does have to be a lot more respectful, because there is no opportunity to disrespect somebody like that. Whereas if you have a so-called white belt, then you can treat that person just about any way you want, which is what Darth does. So, but when you have somebody like Floyd or Matt go in there, that's not going to happen.
No. As much as his God complex, he thinks he is the one all and be all. When it comes to people like that, he does have to show respect, because he wants to try and do a gotcha question. He's convinced that he has these scripts and these answers that'll get him gotcha questions. And he thinks that if he can get someone like Floyd or someone like Matt to just do this one line, he'll sit there for an hour just for that one quote, so that he can go back to his crowd and say, look here, and play a sound clip of this 1 minute where he got Matt to agree to some certain thing, and it'll just help reinforce him. Like Trump, you just need that one line. Just repeat that one line over and over again.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with Alex Malpass, somebody of that caliber.
Yeah, very much like Alex.
With a lot of respect, So...
to have a bit of fun at him, what is your favourite? Do you have a favourite video or a favourite instance where he exploded, where it was very entertaining to watch Asshole 104 get it thrown back at him?
I don't think my favourite video was actually one where he didn't explode, but it was the opposite. He became literally speechless. And that was the video where he debated Mike Fail. And when Mike Fail brought him to the book of Revelation, Darth Asshole 104 did not have any way to apply his shtick to the book of Revelation. He couldn't do it. He was unable to do it. It was just like he may as well have been in another universe, because there was no way in that situation that he could actually apply his shtick. So, in fact, one of the last things he said, literally, he said, I have nothing else to say. because he couldn't say anything. He didn't know what to say.
That something very similar happened whenever he had a conversation, the first one that we had with Richard Madsen. Richard Madsen has some very out there beliefs. We could put him in the category of theist, and he had no idea what to do with Richard. Not a clue.
Yeah, I saw that. Mm-hmm.
And it just, as you say, man, at the very end, it was just, look, this is a waste of my time. I'm not doing anything. This is gone. He couldn't. If I can't do my script, he just gets lost. I don't think there's any real intelligence there. It's just, it's an awful lot of trial and error and writing shit down with his script.
Yeah, I think he's got it right in front of him. Probably he's looking at his computer or notes or something. He's got a flow chart or something. But he's definitely organized. I have to give him credit. He is definitely organized in whatever he is looking at. He's got it down to a science.
Do you know now, like, I'm only in the community a couple of years, 2018 or so, and obviously Asshole 104 was about then. As I say, we all watched him for entertainment and a bit of fun, but he's been in the scene longer than that. Do you know do you know the history of it, man? Do you know the history or where he came from, or, we all know his real name. We'll give him some respect and say not say his real name, but.
Right.
Do you have any idea of where he came from? What the story is?
Well, the earliest videos I'd seen, actually, where he showed up anywhere, were going back to about maybe 6 years or 7 years, possibly. Those were the earliest ones, and I think there are some earlier videos. He says he's been on the internet for about 10 years. Which he started out, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe he started out in Google Hangouts or some other venue. But it's been a total of 10 years that he's been on the internet. So, that's approximately how long he's been on the internet.
Would you have a rough idea of what age of a man he is? I'm thinking late 40s, maybe a wee bit older.
He said that he's in his late 50s. I believe he's either 58 or 59.
So he's old, he's stuck in his ways, and this is his only, he's just an angry old man then, basically.
Yeah, he said that he's been a Christian since, I believe, either his late teens, I think, maybe around 18 to 20, somewhere around there. So he has had his view for quite a long time. He's definitely set in his ways, and there's, it's almost impossible to change his view on anything. Remember, we're talking about a person that is fully convinced that they have absolute truth in their pocket. Excuse me, I'm sorry, because I've got somebody outside, which I have to go outside momentarily. Do you mind if I take a quick exit? I have to find out what's going on.
Yeah, that's okay. You can take 2 minutes, man. That's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hang on, I'm sorry.
You're okay, man.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you on both now, your phone and your mic.
Hello?
Hello, you're on your laptop now, yes.
Sorry, let's see.
I do apologize about this, folks. Okay, right. Well, filling up the blanks. Let me see. What do we usually do? Dance on a jig and things like that. This Thursday, we have Richard coming back on, all going well. We will be going through Gilgamesh, as usual. If anyone hasn't seen that, that's definitely a very interesting... We're getting near the end of the book, and I'm going to try this week and get Julie in. I'm hoping that Julie will come back, because being the book that it is, it's based in a time where, let's just say, it's not very friendly towards women. So getting a female perspective on it coming in would be definitely worthwhile. We are working on a few new interviews for next month. I have nothing set in stone yet, but other than that, there's always Dave's quiz. Who doesn't like to go to Dave's quiz? 8 a.m. Eastern Standard. Usually a lot of fun. God knows where he comes up with the questions, but hopefully he'll not take too long. Not too sure what's happening. So how has everyone's week been? Looking at the chat.
Hello, can you hear me?
There we go. We have him back.
Okay, I'm sorry because what happened, I had an incoming phone call. Let me mute my mic. I had an incoming phone call, which that had an effect on my mic, but can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, man. And saying that, when your mic came through your computer, it was actually at 100%.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you 100%. Your audio was better on your laptop than it was on your phone.
Okay. Okay, what I'm going to have to try to do is just switch back over to the audio on my phone.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just a moment.
Sorry about this, folks. He's the mic on the laptop's not great.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there we go, DD. We'll have you back. Perfect. Is that you back? I think he's muted himself. This is the wonders of technology.
Can you hear me?
Yes, there we are. We have you back, DDD.
Good. Okay. So I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I had an incoming phone call, which, it disabled my microphone.
No, you're all right. These are the wonderful things about technology. So, enough about talking about him, so to speak. What more so about you, man? What is it that, not to get all deep and philosophical and down into your soul, so to speak, but what is it that drives you to do the channel? Like, the channel is DARTH DAWKINS Debunked. That's the goal. Why is that the focus? What drives you to keep going? Is it to destroy him? Is it to have a video for every video he brings out saying he's wonderful? You want to have one saying he's an asshole?
No, I think more of what drives me is just the idea of, if I see something that he said which contradicts something else that he says, or if I see anything inconsistent, something of that effect. Because remember, he is the guy that says that he's got absolute truth in his pocket. So I think that's what drives me, is to show, nuh-uh. No, he doesn't.
Just the flat out contradiction. Do you think?
Yeah, it's all about contradictions, showing his contradictions, showing his inconsistencies, showing, everything basically that I'm doing is it's basically an internal critique. I'm critiquing his worldview. I'm showing what he's doing, which contradicts himself. So, for example, if you go to my website or the quiz, you don't see me, you don't see a note where I am narrating what I think. Mm-hmm. You're seeing what he says versus what he says.
Do you think, though, well, I know obviously the goal is all of us atheists that watch him know that he's an asshole. As I say, we all watch him for entertainment. None of us actually watch him and think that he's going to convert us. I doubt very much that he's ever converted anyone, if anyone, to Christianity from the way he approaches things. But I've lost my trail of thought. I looked at the live chat.
You were saying that you doubt that he has ever converted anybody.
Yes, I doubt that he has ever converted anyone. What I'm asking is, the videos that you produce, do you think that his fans, the people that watch him and that worship him, have any of them ever reached out to you, or do you think that they watch? Because I know an awful lot of us atheists will watch you, because again, from the entertainment point of view, as funny as it is to watch him be an asshole, it's even funnier to watch him be an asshole to himself. But whenever put these... sorry, go on ahead.
Well, to answer your question, yeah, I do believe, in fact, I know that there is at least one person that actually is one of my subscribers, and he's also one of the friends, or one of the people that frequently visit his chat room, and he's an ally of Darth, yet he is my subscriber. So I think he did that just so that anytime I do a video, it's going to send a flag. He's going to see that video, it's going to come to him because he's subscribed, and then he probably goes and tells Darth what he thinks about it. But there was another individual by the screen name More Cowbell, which basically had a very negative view of me. I mean, he did. For example, in one of the messages I sent him, it was a fairly long message. He replied to me, and he put the TLDR, too long, didn't read. And then after he did that, he muted me. So that's just an attitude. He had seen that I was not going to debate Darth due to the fact of what happened, which I don't think I've explained it to you yet.
No.
But he knew my position, and he knew that I was not willing to debate Darth until after Darth had first dealt with the other issues. And once he saw that I was not willing to change, that's when he muted me. So I think in general, probably, I don't think there's too many people on his side that are really paying very much attention to me. I think that by now really, just to be really blunt, they're too brainwashed at this time. It's like a form of indoctrination. It's just like being brainwashed. So they're like a cult.
Yeah, falls back to the cult. Mm-hmm. It just falls back to the cult mentality. It is a shame, because we do that is the goal of, I think, anybody that has come on to YouTube, is to get some sort of a message out, to do some sort of something. There is an awful lot of actually entertainment out there. Sorry, just ignore my last statement. But in the community that we have here, anybody that wants to put anything out, we try and do it to have a voice, to try and make a difference. And the fact that you do this, I don't want to say, anything. Sometimes I've no filter. I don't want to say that it comes across as, everything you're doing for entertainment. It would be nice, and it would be better if the world, if they weren't like that. That if we could use the information that you have gathered, because I'm sure, what have you put into this? A year, maybe more? Yeah,
I've been at it probably for maybe 15, 16 months, somewhere around there.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, you should deserve more accreditation for what you do than entertainment.
I really enjoy what I'm doing. I mean, to me, I'm not trying to get subscribers, although I wouldn't mind having more, but that's not my goal. My goal is just, I want to inform people about, his worldview and all of the inconsistencies and the flaws of this guy's worldview. That's my main objective. So I'm not really focused on subscribers, but that would be a nice fringe benefit,
Yes, well, we all like the numbers, man. I'm sending it out at the minute. I'm up to 668 now. I hit the 666 there yesterday or the day before, so woo for arbitrary numbers. We all love the arbitrary numbers.
Yeah. Well, there is one thing that I want to say before I forget. Mm-hmm. But one of the things I wanted to say is that lately, relatively recently, I've been going through this phase. I think it all started when I was on Smokey's channel, and that's where Darth, reacted to me the way he did. Mm-hmm. But it went back to, it was in March. In March, I was on a YouTube channel, and I was in the side chat. I wasn't in the live stream, the audio, but I was in the live stream chat. And when I was in there, I was making some comments, about Darth. Mm-hmm. And Darth saw me. He saw my comments, and he called me a liar, and a fraud. And so that's where since he did that, that's recently I've been focusing on showing how much of a liar that Darth is. And one of the things I'd like to say, and this might sound really bad, but I'm going to say it. And I'm going to explain why after. In my view, according to my view, Darth, as far as being a liar, he's worse than a pedophile. Now, let me explain why I say that. The reason why I say that is because Darth himself, according to his own claim and his own standard, he said that he views liars as being worse than pedophiles. Yet, he's one of the biggest liars on the internet. So
I can get where you're coming from. Yeah.
According to his own standard, he's worse than a pedophile.
Yeah, no, I can get where you're coming from that, because he is, at the end of the day, we've already established, he's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite when it comes to moderation. He's a hypocrite in what he says. As Rib pointed out earlier, he may be a Christian and he may believe in Sky Daddy or whatever you want to call it, but he is a fucking troll. He does this for attention. Definitely. He does this for, as you say, man, the cult. He wants people to tell him he's fantastic. I don't know, maybe he's got some daddy issues. Maybe he's got some mummy issues. I don't know, didn't get to suck on the tit enough as a child. But the man craves attention. And nobody in any wake of life, whether it be on Discord, on Twitter, or anything like that, I don't think that we should give anyone who craves attention, especially when they're putting forth a message like this, we should not give them the attention that they deserve. We shouldn't give them the attention that they crave, the attention that they crave.
That they crave, yeah. I mean, I believe that, but by the same token, I do believe in, I want to expose the guy as much as I can. So I guess in a way, I'm giving him attention in that way, but that's not my objective or my intent. Yes. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to show his worldview.
Well, this is the catch-22, which I brought, what I was saying about earlier, is that when it comes to, like everybody here has watched a couple of videos of this. Maybe not Mama, she can't stand them. But most of the people in the chat have watched more than a few Asshole 104 videos. And we do it for entertainment. But this is the catch-22. We enjoy watching it, but that's a recording of an actual conversation. Someone give him a platform. Someone let him spout his shit to the 100 people in the Discord server, where only maybe 5 of them are there to tell him he's wrong. The other 95 are there to tell him he's fantastic and suck his dick and make him feel good about himself. And that's the problem, because it's the catch-22. It is difficult. Do you show that he's so much of a prick? Do you show that these problems that he has? But by doing that, you're giving attention.
Yeah, it is a catch-22. Going back to, I think, something you said earlier, trying to get my thoughts together, but let's see. You had said something about, well, it'll come to me, but I think, there's no way to avoid that. It's a situation where anytime I do a video, which I did one today, I guess in a way it is giving him attention, but I'm not, like I said, that's not my objective. That's not my intent.
Yes.
But another one of the things that I wanted to point out was, going back to my situation with him it was March, that's where I was in the YouTube channel and I was typing messages. And I don't think that he has I don't think Darth or Asshole 104, he doesn't hold truth. I don't think he really values truth, or he thinks that truth is something important, because I had sent him a PDF, and it was basically saying, yeah, you called me a liar and you called me a fraud. Well, okay, now where did I lie and where was the fraud? Tell me. I want you to show me where was that. And he never replied. And I know that he received that PDF, so he's had plenty of time to reply to that, but he's never taken the opportunity to reply to it. So based on that, just on that alone, I mean, to be silent, that in itself says something, to be silent, when he could have had an opportunity already to have said, where did I lie? And I even said in the PDF, I said, show me each case where I lied, and what I will do, I'll do a separate video to apologize for that lie.
Yeah.
So I said for each and every lie that he can show, I will do a separate video for each and every lie. But I never heard anything back from him. So evidently, if he thinks I'm a liar, I haven't heard anything about it as far as where I lied. And I had never spoken with the man. So, I mean, it couldn't have been something that I lied to him verbally because we never spoke. So this alleged lie must be on either my quiz or my channel or on my website. But that really bewilders me because, like I said, my intent there is not to be a narrator. I'm only showing his worldview. So there's nothing in there or very little in there that would say what I think or what my worldview is. It's only a reflection. It shows what his worldview is. So where this lie is, it just completely bewilders me. I'm still waiting for an answer to that. I'd love to hear him tell me where I'm a liar, and where I'm a fraud. But he's been an absolute failure at showing me that.
Well, you see, this is what it comes down to again, man. This is why I say that what you do, as much, 90% of it for people, well, 90% of your audience probably is entertainment, and it's a shame for that, because we want to not destroy, get rid of, but what he does and what he puts forth, it's not good. And what we do here, and the best advice I can give anybody, for anybody watching this, he has come into our live chats. He has come into many channels, live chats amongst the community here. And even when they're having topics about nothing, I remember him popping into One Ring's channel when they were having a fucking Star Wars stream because it was Star Wars Day, and he came in spouting his shit. Don't give him attention. I know this is an episode all about it. We're hoping to wrap it up about him. We never want to fucking mention him again. But the way that we deal with him here is we call him Asshole 104. He doesn't get the attention on screen. We have offered him a platform. That is the thing. He comes in, he spouts his shit, he's offered a platform. He is more than welcome, if he wants to and is watching this back. Asshole 104, you are more than welcome to reach out to me. DDD here has said that he will debate you. I have a list of other people that have said that they will talk to you, but I will be moderating. It will be a fair chat. You will get equal time, and that's just the way a conversation should go. You will not tell me what to do. I am moderating. Everybody will be fair. That is an opportunity that you have. I suggest you offer that. People offer that to him as well, because he won't take it. He will not take anywhere where he is not in charge. He will not take anywhere where he cannot control the situation and mute when he wants to. So, that's the best thing I can do, is offer a fair platform towards him. He will not arrive. He will not turn up. And if he doesn't, then boot him. You're fair, you're equal. What else can you do but give the opportunity of a fair platform to talk about things?
Yeah, well, there's a couple things I'd like to read. These are quotes from Darth. I want to read this real quick. This is quote. He said, "I'm weaponizing what they say against them. Anything they say can and will be used against them. Now listen, yeah, in a second now you're going to give me more rope to hang you with. Jason, are you there? Yeah, I'm here. I'm going to show you how not to get bogged down. Okay, I got bogged down. I'm going to go for the jugular." So here is a person that's talking about going for a person's jugular and hanging them, and weaponizing whatever they say that can and will be used against them. So that's fine. That, to me, that's beautiful, because I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use anything he says, and I have, that's what I've actually did. I have already used anything that he says, going back yesterday, going back a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, whatever. I'm going to use anything and everything he said. I'm going to use it against him.
Yeah. That's the only way to do it, man, is to show the hypocrisy in him, and as I keep coming back to, more people on his side need to watch your videos. I'm hoping maybe some of them watch this. Watch DARTH DAWKINS Debunked. Look at the stupidity, look at the hypocrisy of it. If anything, we're not saying that you can't be a Christian and being a Christian is bad, this, that, and the other, but following him is definitely not the right way to go.
Well, and I just thought of something, as far as him being a Christian, he has actually contradicted himself to the point right now where he is actually, if you look at the whole picture, if you look at all of the things that he said, his worldview is so convoluted right now that he is actually, I don't even need to do anything to debunk him. He is doing it by himself.
Well, that's it. A lot of people will say, and we always use the old phrase, and things like that. They turn more people away from Christianity. They make more atheists because of their Christian worldview, because of the way they put them across. They turn more people to the atheist side.
Yeah. Well, I honestly, I can't ever remember seeing a case where he's actually converted anyone to his his view. I've never seen that. I mean, maybe it's happened, but I've never seen any video where anyone has sat down and he actually went from start to finish to actually show that he converted somebody. I've never seen it.
See, this is another thing. You did a video there, was it last week or the week before? You have audio recordings of him saying he doesn't have a channel.
Oh yeah, that was one of the other lies. That was one of the other lies that he talked about. Yeah, he's a bold-faced liar. In both the discussions, the debates that we had on here, we had... Oh, excuse me, I'm going to burp. Oh, we had the Messenger Reveals in the live chat. And the Messenger Revealed had been called out by Darth, as like you, for saying this, that, and the other, and lies and stuff like that. And the Messenger was like, right, you've been here twice. I'm friendly enough with MathPig. He says he'll debate it. Let's go forward. And he wouldn't. And then it was in another live. I think it was actually Neil's live chat. Neil 604 Atheist's live chat. And he popped in spouting his usual shit against Neil. Neil will not talk to him because he's fucking sense. And the Messenger Reveal says, right, let's do this. MathPig is your contact details. He's got mine. Darth reached out to me and sent me a message in Discord and went, right, he wants to talk, let's do this. And I was like, brilliant, let's do this. And then he sent me a link for a StreamYards and he hosted it on his own channel, where I think it lasted maybe 7 minutes. And then he kicked John for not letting him stay on script, opened it up for maybe another 20 minutes where he let other atheists in. And every one of them got maybe 3 minutes. He'd mute them, he'd kick them, that was it. And then the video was deleted and gone. I was there and watched it live. So that's a flat out lie. If asshole 104 you're listening, fuck you, you big ass liar. I watched that live. I have the Discord messages to prove that. I could send it to DDD. You're lying. It's not worth it, Yeah, I mean, you showed me where you said that you had witnessed where he actually had debates in that channel. Plus, I had one of his subscribers contact me and tell me that he's actually subscribed on YouTube to Darth.
Oh yeah, I'm subscribed too. Yeah.
So it's a bold-faced lie, and like I said, according to his own standard, he is worse than a pedophile.
No, Definitely, 100% agree. Shout out to the chat if anyone's got any questions that they would like to have or that they do have for DDD. Throw them in the chat. Yeah, I said tag Dave, but I'm actually watching the live chat. I just did that to be awkward. And again, for everybody that's come back and watched this tonight, really appreciate you come back and watching. It wouldn't be anything without this. Without you coming and watching, it would just be two middle-aged white men shouting and whinging about another middle-aged white man, you know.
About asshole 104.
Exactly, yes. That's another thing, man. Don't give him the notoriety. We really do like asshole 104. We spent about a week trying to think of a name, and I think Dave, it's an anagram, or Dave figured it out. So it actually does tie back to his original name, but yeah. He's a waste of time. I recommend that everybody should watch DDD's videos. At the end of the day, you're going to watch what you want to watch. It is entertainment, but yeah. I think he's a fucking waste of time.
That.
Pardon?
I appreciate that kudo.
No, the links are in the description. Your Twitter's in the description. And the link for the quiz is in the description. I haven't took the quiz myself. I was thinking that we might do it live tonight if we had time. But we're coming up in the hour. We've had a lot of fun. Chat's been flying. So we'll maybe do that another time. We'll maybe get you back on.
Oh, sure. Yeah. If you would like to do that another time, I would love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We can get maybe 5 or 6 of us on. 5 or 6 of us on, and we'll all do the quiz or something. We'll do it for a bit of shits and giggles some night with a few drinks or whatever and a bit of fun. Like, do you get to see the results? That's one thing. One of my questions I had written down. I haven't done the quiz, so I don't know. But when you get to the end, do you always fail?
Yeah, I mean, I know the results, because the results, everyone who takes the quiz gets the exact same results. So I already know that.
So spoiler alert for the next video then, we're all going to fail. Have you anything that you'd like to shill, my man? Have you anything coming out, any new videos, or are you going to be on anyone's channel or anything like that? Is there anything like you to shout out?
Well, I will be on an upcoming channel, which is The Atheist Pastor. That should be happening. I don't have the exact date yet, but probably the late this month or middle of this month, somewhere around there. But as soon as I find out, I will, I'll have that posted on my channel.
Yeah, well, that's it. Everybody follow DDD on Twitter. I don't know if you use Twitter that much, man. It seems to be the fucking base that most people bloody use. I'm not a lover of it, but that's a different video altogether. But as I say, yes, the link... Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say links for your channel, your Twitter, and the quiz. Maybe you can be the one person that hacks the quiz. Can you be like, the Star Trek captain that tweaked the test? Kirk, fuck me. How did I draw a blank on James T. Kirk?
I don't want to tell you too much about the quiz, because I don't want to give it away. But, I'm sure we will enjoy it. We will have a good time.
Yeah, sounds like fun. Well, we've had no other questions from the chat except BrainBug saying elderly, not middle-aged. So, other than that, DDD, thank you very much for coming on tonight. I had a lot of fun. This has been great fun. And I hope that we've come up with some advice, some this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do, but in my opinion, the man needs no more time. And other than the quiz coming on some Saturday night for shits and giggles, you will not hear me say his name again on this channel. You will not see him in the live chat again, because he can fuck off. Alright? You've been offered and offered and offered. You don't want it for a chat. Very, very sorry, but you've burnt that bridge, my friend. So, other than that, again, man, thank you very much. Live chat, thank you very much. And for the special people, the Patreons, thank yous. I know that there's not an awful lot of money around at the minute, especially in America and things like that. So I really do appreciate you sending across what you have. So on that note, what we will do is we will oink and out.
Okay, thank you.